Let me explain specifically where things stand. The White House has given the FBI the official green light to expand its background investigation into Judge Kavanaugh, but they are running out of time to get it done. The president says he wants it done in a week, and Republican leader Mitch McConnell says he wants a vote on the judge by Friday. NBC News had learned that the feds were initially told to stick to just 4 people: Mark Judge, P.J. Smith, Leland Keyser, and Deborah Ramirez. Judge, Smith, and Keyser were all allegedly at the party where Dr. Ford says she was assaulted. Ramirez alleged a separate incident of misconduct. We should mention that Kavanaugh has denied all of these allegations, and we have learned that Judge, Smith, Keyser, and Ramirez have all been interviewed by the FBI at least once. Judge's attorney says his client's interview has not been completed. On Monday, the president said the FBI should talk to whomever they want.
What I said is, let the Senate decide whatever they want to do is okay with me. And also the FBI. I think the FBI should do what they have to do to get to the answer. I don't know all 3 of the accusers. Certainly, I imagine they're going to interview 2. The third one I don't know much about, but it wouldn't bother me at all.
Now, that third accuser is Julie Swetnick. She has alleged that Kavanaugh attended parties where gang rapes took place, something the judge has vehemently denied. While the president questioned Swetnick's credibility, Republican Senator Susan Collins said on Monday her allegations should be investigated, and it might not end there. Senate Democrats have drawn up a list of more than 24 people they want contacted. New York Times says Deborah Ramirez has given the FBI more than 20 names, and we know the FBI has already spoken to people like Chad Ludington, a former classmate who challenged Kavanaugh's accounts of how much he drank. In fact, top Democrats are now focusing on the issue of whether Kavanaugh was truthful in his Senate testimony as a potential reason to stop his confirmation.
The $64,000 question is this: is Judge Kavanaugh credible? Will Judge Kavanaugh say anything, deny anything, mislead about anything to secure confirmation to the Supreme Court?
That's probably worth more than $64,000. One possible example that comes from Kavanaugh's interview with the Senate Judiciary Committee about Ramirez's allegations that he exposed himself in college. The judge was asked specifically whether he had ever discussed or heard discussion about the alleged incident before the New Yorker published its article on September 23rd. Kavanaugh said, and I quote, "No." But text messages obtained by NBC News show that Judge Kavanaugh was texting with friends to try to refute Ramirez's claims well before the article came out. In fact, one former classmate told the FBI that Kavanaugh's team started reaching out in July, 2 months before the New Yorker published Ramirez's claims. On Monday, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said Democrats questioning Kavanaugh's credibility are just trying to delay the process, and he says it won't work.
So let me make it very clear. The time for endless delay and obstruction has come to a close. Judge Kavanaugh's nomination is out of committee. We're considering it here on the floor. And Mr. President, we'll be voting this week.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.